Just had my Axemen Ultralight 2-person tent arrive. It's a 4-season unit. I'll just put it on the weigh here. Let's see how much it actually weighs. Looking at about 1,050 grams. The 4-season one's probably about 150 grams heavier than the 3-season unit because the inner part of the tent is of a higher quality material, 20D siliconized nylon basically. So let's have a look what we've got inside the tent. So it's arrived all neatly wrapped up, so let's unwrap and have a look. What we've got here is we've got our tent poles, high quality aluminium units, along with suitable guys. Orange section is the outer fly, and this is the inner section to the tent, which includes the ground sheet, and clearly at the back is the carry bag. I've set the unit up now. It's I've got to admit, this is a pretty good ultralight tent. I haven't got the fly on, just the inner section, as I say, with the fly on. It's a 4-season. I'm going to be going out, as I said earlier, in the next couple of weeks. It's not going to be raining, so this is the perfect unit for me because I'll be leaving the fly off, having a lot less weight to carry, and I think she'll come together really well. You can see I've put my walking poles in place. Very sturdy setup. Just before I do put the fly or the outer part of the tent on, if there are any criticisms I have of the tent, it could do with some extra stays to pull the middle of the tent out. That seems to flap around in the breeze, as you can see. Is it a problem? Probably not for me, but I might, after I've tested it on the track, I might end up having a few mods done to it, do myself, and put some tie-ins in that center section. Let's try that fly now. So I've set it up now with the outer fly on. It's coming together pretty well. The criticism I had about the center sections flapping in, clearly when the fly's on, there's points of attachment where you can put your stakes and bring out that center section. It covers the tent pretty well. You can get it fairly taut. I'd like to try this in a really strong wind and rain, see how she performs. But overall, as I say, not a bad tent, and the quality does surprise me. I did expect perhaps some issues with the quality, but so far so good. But you really don't know till you're out there and you're on the track. So let's just have a bit of a look inside now. In terms of the entry, plenty of room to put stuff just outside the tent in the alcove there. Having a little bit of a look inside again. Let's have a look. Reasonable gap, so hopefully if there's any condensation that forms on the outer tent, it'll just roll out, and being 20D siliconized on the inside, should be fairly dry in there hopefully. Inside, as I say, for one person, plenty for me. I'll just do a few quick close-ups of the unit so you can see what I talk about when I talk about quality. As I say, very well stitched, both on the inside and the outside, all around the tent. Reinforcement in the appropriate spots on one side, stitching without any loose ends all the way up. That's a tying point when you fold back the tent flap. That's another tie if you'd like to tie other sections of the tent to keep that alcove area open and more easily accessible. We'll probably get a little bit of stitching there. That what I'll actually do is put a bit of heat on it, and that way it'll melt and seal up. So I'll go around. There's a couple of spots like that you need to check for, because you don't really want any stitching coming undone. So the right level of flame will fix that. Keep in mind, if you're going to do that, don't put a hole in your tent, so you need to know what you're doing. So do it properly. These are high quality, very good arrangements. As I walk around, same setup all the way around. That stitching that needs to be sorted out is really where the stitching basically ends. Same setup down here. If I take that off, it's fairly good. Other side is fairly well done as well. Let's just have a look underneath here. Probably that section there could probably do with some reinforcement, but it does have it's been weld seamed over to stop any water, and I guess to provide that extra reinforcement over the pole. But that weld seaming is happening all along the inside of the fly basically. As I said earlier, that's a pretty good setup. That's a very good setup there. I think that'll go well. Can't see that section there failing. Seems to be okay. Can't see any issue there. If there's going to be a problem there when we're on the track, that will start to become evident. That seems to be fine. You have to be probably a little bit careful about how much tension you actually put on that section. So I've removed the fly, and we'll just go over and double check once again how the quality of this tent is. That's very sturdy, very well done. The seams are all stitched together really well. Once again, this quality is good. A lot of tension on there. Will that fail long term? Well, I'm going to keep an eye on those sorts of things, and as I say, that stuff we'll work out when we actually go on our trek, see how good it is, because it does look potentially that could be a fail point. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Stitching around this netted area, which provides a lot of the circulation, is good. As I say, that's very sturdy. That's well done. Ground sheet itself, which is integral with the tent, that's okay. Feels a little bit thin. Depending on where I'm going, I might carry a Tyvek ground sheet. Looking on the inside, as I say, the zip, no problems with the zip catching. Doesn't catch anywhere. I've done that a few times, and it's very impressive. Stitching comes together here. It's welded once again around that section where the inside stitching looks pretty good. A few bits and pieces like that I'll have to I'll go around and tidy those up. And I have had a look earlier in the tent, and I couldn't see any issues inside. So generally, I rate this tent pretty high. Axemen 2-person. Haven't seen any reviews of this particular tent online, so I thought, why not give it an opportunity and put it online and share my thoughts and see if anybody else has any views or used one of these tents before. So yeah, let's take it from there.